I remember an elderly couple, they were on a cruise, and he had suddenly declined, his health suddenly declined, he was difficulty breathing, things of that nature. They had to reroute the cruise and dock in Rhode Island, which is the hospital I was working at. And it got to the point where it was evident after just a couple of days that he was not going to make it out of the hospital. And his wife of probably 50 years or something like that, was there and distraught. This was such a shock to her as well. And so what I did was I would sit down with her, for long periods of time every day, talking with her about everything, maybe reminiscing a little bit about him, and trying to help her cope with the horrific reality that her husband was probably not going to make it. And he ultimately did pass away in the hospital, but the time I spent with her made me realize that this is the kind of connection that I'm looking for, the kind of impact that I want to have with people, and medicine was a way to do it. When I was young, I wanted to be a scientist, I wanted to invent, went and studied engineering in college. It was biological engineering, so I kind of think I knew deep down that I wanted to do something medical related. And then after my freshman or maybe sophomore year in college, I knew that while I loved engineering and the inventing aspect of it, I really liked the personal connections that you develop with people, and I wanted my work to have a direct impact on people's lives. And while you could do that in engineering, I felt that it's a much more direct way to do it if you do it in medicine, and so I kind of did a slight pivot into medicine at that time. Once I got into orthopedics, I found that hand and wrist surgery was, for me at least, particularly interesting because in the field, you get exposed to every single kind of musculoskeletal tissue type. You deal with the bones, the tendons, ligaments, the joints, the nerves, the blood vessels, everything, and it gives you an opportunity to kind of dabble in all of those things, be able to treat all of those, so it keeps it interesting and exciting for me. My family, I have a wife and son. My wife is Iris and my son is Teddy. My wife is also a physician and also combines that time with research. And my son Teddy is currently 2 years old, and he's a rambunctious, talkative 2-year-old. And since we came out here to Cincinnati, he's really been enjoying the space, the parks, and everything like that. I like to play the guitar. I have a Martin Dreadnought guitar, an acoustic that I like to play. Also like to play Frisbee, whether that's out in the park somewhere or whatever it may be. Certainly, like anybody else, love watching movies and of course hanging out with my family. I'm looking forward to being part of the Christ Hospital network here and building my practice and of course treating patients. Also really looking forward to my son growing up. He's starting some preschool activities soon, and when I'm looking forward to that and his development over his time here. And really, I think overall, just really looking forward to really being a part of the Cincinnati community.